the camera I may have underestimated might be Sony's best kept secret. Let me tell you why. If you have been on the internet, then you know Sony has released the Sony FX2, and it has been quite the controversy, you know, whether this camera was needed or not. I was the same way. I was against it at first, but in this video, I'm gonna tell you why I kinda understand it as of now. Let's get to it. As an entry-level cinema camera, coming in at $26.99, and if you get the top handle, it is $3,099. What I can say, I do feel like the camera is overpriced, right? So maybe if this camera came out 3 years ago, I would have said, you know, okay, Sony, it's a full frame cinema line camera, not quite the FX3, but it comes at a lower tier. But with that price, I'm gonna be honest with you, might as well get a FX3 or a A7S3 for that price. It's too close right now. You can find those things picked up used for roughly around the same price, okay? That's number one, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Sony fanboy, but I do feel like they cheaped out on this. This is the A7 IV. I have been shooting on this camera for roughly around 4 years, or whenever, since the release. I have picked up this camera and I've been shooting extensively on it, right? From videos, photos, wedding, music videos, commercials. And I can say, I do love this image more for commercials and music videos than I do my FX3. Reason being, the image is a lot sharper. It's not that I love my FX3. My FX3 is more for my run and gun situation. I do a lot of concerts dealing with artists, unpredictable situations on tour and on the road. Don't get me wrong, the A7 IV does its job, can get the job done, but I like my FX3 better because of the low light capabilities. And I have took photos with my FX3, which isn't bad. And a lot of people can't tell the difference. The clients can't tell the difference, you know, unless they gotta crop in on something or put it on a billboard, which 12 megapixels still might get the job done. The 7K sensor that's in the FX2, which is the same sensor in the A7 IV, is probably one of the best sensors that Sony has released. And let me tell you why. This sensor has more dynamic range than any other alpha camera and cinema line. This has 15 plus stops of dynamic range, right? That's close to the Venice. And I think the Sony Venice maybe have 15, 16 stops. So pairing these up together, this is even more than your FX3. So pairing these together, you get more dynamic range and more latitude when you're color grading your images. And that's one thing I always thought about. I was using my FX3 a lot more than this. And then one day I decided to pick it back up and start doing video with it. And I realized my image was sharper. I had a little bit more latitude, but for some reason, I think the colors in the FX3 cinema line are better, right? I don't know why. It's like it's some type of different processing. Me watching Potatoes Jet video confirmed it. The creator of the FX cinema line of Sony did explain that the color science FX2 will be renders different than the A7 IV. They do something different with the processing, whatever foolery they do with it, the magic they do with it. Actually change the color science to match the Venice a little bit more. And I can understand that, so they have to do something, but it's not, what's crazy is they didn't put that on paper. So let me tell you why that I think they made the FX2. The A7 IV has a great sensor, right? For photos and still. A lot of times now, everything is going to hybrid, right? So if you have a camera now, a lot of people, a lot of creators and a lot of cinematographers, they are shooting video along with taking stills while on set, all right? So this camera will be a beast for full frame videos and stills. It's gonna be a beast at a hybrid camera with the 7K sensor. My only gripe with this sensor is 4K 60 crop. I feel like with the sensor, they probably could have gave us 4K 60 without a crop. That's all I was asking for, 4K 60 without a crop. The cooling system for that camera, I will 100% agree with. The reason being, it has been some shoots I have been on, weddings outside in the sun, where my A7 IV has overheated on me. It was only once, but it only took one time. And so now, you know, I kind of monitor it so it don't overheat. So now that the FX2 has a cooling fan, it solves that problem. All right. So with the cooling fan like the FX3, you'll be able to film all day with that sharp quality. And they did upgrade the IBIS. So now with the IBIS, they have active dynamic stabilization, which is almost, you might not need a gimbal sometimes, you know, especially if your lens has stabilization on it. You might be able to get away with not using a gimbal. That was a big plus. You know, they're doing everything with the AI software processing, and that's just one of the things that they're doing now. But like I said, I am a really big fan of actually adding the cooling fan. And the rolling shutter is still the thing. I never really had a problem with the rolling shutter, but people still freaks out about it. I mean, I'm not whipping my camera around just willy-nilly, but hey, who knows? They did what I wanted to do for my A7 IV. They put the sensor in the FX3 body for cooling, gave it some AI capabilities. They put an EVF on it, which they could have kept. They should have put the new flip screen that the FX3 the FX3A, sorry, has. So it'll be a better screen when viewing. Like I said, I feel like it's a great camera, but I feel like it came out at the wrong time. This camera was probably supposed to come out 3 years ago. Coming out right now and not giving us the full capability or being able to shoot 6K or open gate. I don't know why Sony hold these things back. The reason being, Sony make Lumix sensors, right? So they're making Lumix sensors, Nikon sensors. Hell, they even make the iPhone camera sensors. So, and they have all of these capabilities inside of those sensors. Why are you holding out on us? And we're buying, I'm a Sony fanboy. Why are you holding out on us? You're gonna need open gate to shoot 16:9 and 9:16 vertical reels now. So you can shoot it one time and have both. But like I said, to each his own. Man, it's your boy D2RG Mac, and on this channel, we invest in ourselves. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also comment below, will you be picking up the Sony FX2? Me, I'm still on the, I got my babies, man, the A7 IV and the FX3. I don't know, man, I might skip out on it, but you just let me know.